Good morning, everyone. My name is Charlotte Wieder, and today I'm very happy to be with you to share some recommendation on how to design, operate, and engage a successful international network. So, a little bit of background. I'm a doctor in industrial engineering, have about 15 years experience in managing innovation program, digital transformation, and engagement strategy. I'm the mom of 2 kids. I'm French and currently expat in Denmark, in Billund, the headquarters of Lego. And I'm very passionate about connecting and empowering people to bring innovation to life. And I've been working for several companies like Accenture, Group SEB, or the Lego Foundation. So my key experiences in innovation community. First, I managed the innovation community of Group SEB with 1,000 friendly members, researchers, designers, project developers, and the idea was to accelerate innovation by sharing some innovation method and tools, and also supporting digital collaboration. I was then a Play Future manager at the Lego Foundation, where I engage external innovation community, so 1,600 members, on the topic of learning through play in education and pedagogy. And more recently, I've been involved in the community Educate for Life, as I founded WOMAP, an initiative aiming at economically empowering women in rural villages in Morocco through disruptive technology and education. So my key experience in innovation community, I've been managing several communities. First, the innovation community of Group SEB. It was with 1,000 friendly members, researchers, designers, marketers, and the key challenge was to accelerate innovation through new innovation method and tools, and also the use of digital, like internal social network. Then I was Play Future manager for the Lego Foundation, and here the idea was to imagine a world where play and learning will go together, and I was supporting 1,600 members on the network. And currently I'm part of Educate for Life, which is a community aiming at imagining the future of education, and I founded WOMAP, which is an initiative aiming at empowering women through education, economically empowering women through education and disruptive technology. So today, what is our playground? You are attending, and I'm sure it's an amazing physical seminar on learning music through play. And my role is to help you to think about how it could look like if you would like to launch a community on learning through play right after this physical meeting. So the agenda I'm proposing you, first we will talk a little bit about learning music through play, and then I will give you some key recommendations to launch your community if you would like to. So first, I wanted to introduce the topic with my own experience of learning music. I touched base few instruments like the piano, for example. It was an amazing experience because I was on my initiative, and because I was so inspired by my grandma playing piano. And it was a super nice experience. She was teaching me in a scaffolding way, so it was easy for me to learn step by step. It was fun, we were laughing. I was really feeling super happy to have this experience. From that experience, my mom thought like I should learn a bit more formally music, to be able to read music on the paper, and she registered me to courses where actually it was horrible for me because it was so, so not playful, and I was never doing my exercise and homework, and I was always late on what I was supposed to do. I really didn't like that. When I started to be a teenager, I wanted to learn guitar, and it was on my initiative, and actually it was not amazing because it was okay, but we had to learn, like the basics. Instead, was I wanted to learn my favorite songs of my favorite singers. So actually, it was a bit boring for me because, and I gave up after 2 years because I was feeling like I want to play the music I love, not like this very boring song. So just to let you know that according to, even if it's when on your initiatives, sometimes it can be amazing, sometimes it can be more difficult. And now actually I have a new challenge because my little one wants to learn guitar. Of course, she wanted a pink guitar. And I hope I will be able to teach her music through play or connect her with amazing teachers that will have this ability. So how to apply learning through play to music? Actually, the first time I had this question in mind, I'm happy to give some insights for this conference. So first of all, I'm sure in the conference there's a lot of experts on the topic. What I can share with you is my knowledge of learning through play. Some great sources of inspiration I recommend you. First, you could have a look at the book of Mitch Resnick, Lifelong Kindergarten, where he's really supporting adults to get the best lesson from kindergarten on how to help really like a creative thinking skills approach. And he encouraged to use the 4 Ps, which are play, passion, peers, and project. And when you try to apply all that together, usually you can really have a super great learning experience. Another nice source of inspiration is the leaflet from the Lego Foundation called What We Mean by Learning Through Play. And here, what is interesting, they give reviews, they share some characteristics of what is a learning through play experience. And you can go through that and then reimagine how you could have and how you could provide a more learning through play experience. If I try to do the exercise with the characteristics, usually it's meaningful, joyful, socially interactive, actively engaging, and iterative. Meaningful, it means when the child is coming, try to relate to something that the child already knows or is passionate about. For example, what is your favorite singer or your favorite song? Or why are you coming here? Why do you want to learn music? Is it to please someone you really love, like your parents or whatever? And it's good to know all this context to make the experience more meaningful. Joyful, as I told you with my grandma, it was so much fun to learn piano, and I love that. So try to create an experience that is fun and playful. Socially interactive, it means how to create some interaction. It can be with the teacher, with the parents, with other kids through peer-to-peer learning, which by the way is an amazing way to learn in super great condition. And maybe you can create like a specific music show where they will have to play together, or maybe you can involve the child in a project to have more peer-to-peer interaction. It needs to be actively engaging. It means when the child is playing music, time should be flying. They should lose the notion of time because they are so actively engaged. They have so much fun that they forget about that. And the child should be the actor of his or her own learning. And iterative, because play and learning is something where you test, you learn, and you do it again. So there is this notion of progress. Start with simple thing where the child can feel like they master it and go in a scaffolding way, and try to bring this iterative process to learn step by step. So if I sum up learning music through play, try to think about something meaningful, joyful, socially interactive, actively engaging, and iterative. So now, what are the winning options if you would like to launch a network from your seminar and move to a community? So the first recommendation I will tell you is to define your why. It means, why do you really want to launch this community? And you need to spend some time. And a great TED Talk you can have a look at is the one of Simon Sinek, that really encourage everyone to ask yourself this question, because sometimes people want to do things without really to precising the why. And another interesting book is the one from Salim Ismail on exponential organizations, where he encourage people and organizations to define their MTP, which is their massive transformative purpose, where here the idea is to think about what is the impact you want to have. And he's giving some example like TED Talk that wants to have ideas worth spreading, or Google that want to organize the world's information. So try to think about your MTP. It will help you through all the decisions you will need to make when you will design and implement your community. Then you will need to gather a core group of volunteers, because you cannot work with imagining your communities like 100 people, it's difficult to work with all the people. So try to identify a core group of people willing to move forward with a positive mindset, a lot of ideas, and then you will be happy to play with them, to play and work with them. For example, for Play Futures, the initiative I was leading at the Lego Foundation, to launch it, there was a 12 members advisory group that started to work on what could be Play Future, what could be the vision, what is the impact they would like to achieve, before to really open a website and a community. And start also to identify who could be your key members and why they would be interested to join. So it means when you will need to recruit your members, you should be able to pitch your community with your unique value proposal, like what could be a good reason for them to join, what will be so special about your community. Then you will need to select a platform. So we are living in an internet world where everything is available and almost free. So there's tons of tools on the market. Maybe you could use a Facebook group. Maybe you could start by launching just a WhatsApp group. You have Twitter, Slack, Yammer, Asana, Mighty Network, and much more. What is key to know is like you have different strategy, and there's no a good or a bad one. All depends on your community. Typically, you could start by just a social media only platform, because maybe like just Facebook or WhatsApp or just a Twitter. Again, just to see like what is the appetite of your member and how it could look like. Or you could decide to have a platform like we had for Play Future, but you also need to engage on social media, because most of the people, it's difficult usually to engage on just a platform. So try to see if maybe you could have the perfect mix to do that. The key recommendation for you, you need to be where your users are. So if all your users love to use Facebook, go on Facebook. If they are more on an other tool, just use what they really want. It's easier to engage, as I say, on social media than on the platform, except if it's a platform super well done. Currently for Educate for Life, I'm using Mighty Network, which is a new tool for communities, and it's super good. So all the members were super active, and we use this platform because it's the user interface is nice, the experience is easy and fun. So you need to decide. But typically the basic functionality you may need. So it's important for a member to see who are the other members, because sometimes you will join a community because you know someone, or you would be happy to work with someone. It's good to be able to see the key events, because the community, it's a lot about some meetings, some conf calls, some way to gather together. If you can have a conference tool, typically for Educate for Life, we use Zoom, and it's a very good one to interact, be able to have some conf call and also interact and share your screen. Be able to share the resources, that's a very nice thing. So then when you will have mature all of that and you will be ready, what I encourage you to do is to launch your MVP, or in innovation, we call it minimum viable product. It's like launch something with basic functionalities just to start to learn. So typically for Play Futures in 2016, when it was launched, it was a very basic platform where all the members could post something, and it was great to launch, to start to learn. But based on that, and based on the discussion you can have with your members about what is their interest, why they join this community and what they would like to see, actually we developed much more things. So typically we developed a series of webinars where actually we asked some experts to share with us their view about learning through play. And it was very successful, because usually it was like 1 hour webinar, and the people were joining online. The speaker was doing like a 30-minute presentations, and then the participant could ask live questions. And it was a great way to learn and also to network. Then you can also organize some physical events. So either physical or online events, but it's good to have regular meetings where people can share and have some activities. In the case of Play Futures, actually we launched 6 international explorations where actually between 4 to 6 members were working together, mainly through Skype and sometimes through physical meetings, to explore a topic about learning through play. So for example, we worked on how to do learning through play in outdoors context with Exploration 6 on green-blue spaces. We worked in Kenya on play-based strategy in the classroom, or in Chile on how to tell playful storytelling and many other things. I really encourage you to have some projects, because at the end it's really a great way to engage your members through meaningful topics, because they will decide what they want to do. Another nice thing to do is to do some portraits to illustrate how it can look like in real life. So typically here it's a picture of Rebecca and Ngwawa. She's the director of the school we have been working with in Kenya. And this video, she explained in 2 minutes what she means by learning through play, how she's doing it in her everyday life. And it was very successful, because people need to have tangible idea of how it looks like. Another great thing is to create a book club. So either people can share the best book or reading they had recently, just sharing the title and picture. They can do a video. You can even organize some live session where someone will tell something about a book and other people can ask questions. So as you can see, just example to inspire you, and then you will be able to do your own on what is really relevant for your community. A great thing to do also is to engage through sub-community of practice. So typically when I work with Group SEB, we had many different community of practice. Some of them, and it was the one that worked the best, were in project mode. So we were doing some innovation project, and it's where the engagement was the highest, because everyone was coming in the community in the morning to see what were the tasks, what were the last update on the project or the prototype. Then you can launch some community on know-how. So in case of Group SEB, there was, for example, a community on mock-up and prototyping with all the experts of the group. And they were changing on know-how, techniques, materials. So in your case, maybe you can start to think what could be some good know-how communities for music through play and learning music through play. Some discipline like development, project manager. Maybe in your case, you could have, I don't know, like a music teacher, a game designer, or something like that to be defined. But you could have by discipline, because it's also key to be able to interact with people that have the same job or same expertise as you. And we also had some transversal topics, so to be defined for your community. But in the case of Group SEB, we had a topic on water, and we had all the experts, the one that were working on the water for the coffee machine, the one that were working for different projects, and it was very interesting to share the thing. And all of that, it's also good to do with subcommittees, but then you can also couple that with innovation forum or innovation days, where actually the key thing is that when people meet, this is where innovation happen and where they will really share. So think about the great mix between online and physical meetings. As you will be an international community, maybe you could say, okay, for people that live super close by, let's try to meet, I don't know, once a quarter, because we are living next to each other, and let's to make sure that once a year we have this big physical seminar where people from all around the world can meet. So it's key to also have these physical meetings. Another example is to engage through concrete projects. So here it's a screenshot of the committee I'm involved in called Educate for Life, to imagine the future of education. And here what is super interesting, we are doing a 12-week sprint. And as you can see in the middle, there are several groups that were launched. Adult Lifelong Learning, Warm Up, the project I'm working, Entrepreneurship in Higher Education. And I highly recommend you to also launch some projects for your community, because then it will start to be more meaningful for the people to be part of a specific project, because they will need to share, to learn, to interact, and it's super dynamic. And just as an example, for this case, so I'm using the platform Educate for Life for the project I'm working with, and also to be in touch with all of the members of this community. But we also use WhatsApp as a more informal way to be in touch with the team I'm leading, so we are 4 people. And we are also use Trello, which is more a task management board, where actually we just share like what is our to-do, what is in progress, what is done, and what are the key meetings or presentation we need to work on. Another example of engaging through concrete project is the 6 exploration I led at Play Futures. So here at Play Future, we launched an open innovation challenge, asking the members, what would you like to explore? What are the topics that really matters to you on learning to play? And we received a bunch of ideas, and then we decided to launch 6 international explorations. So it lasts about 1.5 years. And now I'm happy to share with you actually the result of the exploration. So we have been collaborating online, sometimes traveling also with some of the members. So in Kenya on play-based strategy in the classroom, in Chile on playful storytelling in public libraries, in Belize on green-blue spaces where play and learning are natural, and also in Philadelphia, US, creating a playful wall, a play wall, and building a community around that, where we were asking the people, when you were a child, what was the best play, what was your best way to play, and what is your best play memory? So all of that to tell you that at the end, it's great to produce something with your team. In this case, as you can see, there's a link where you can access what has been produced. But really, I encourage you to have some concrete project. It's the best way to really activate the network, optimize the learning and the engagements of your members. When all of that started to launch, you will also need to promote your community. And why I ask you to define your massive transformative purpose, because actually will be the best way for you to attract new members. And how you can attract new members, there's thousands of ways to do it. Maybe you can do some specific announcement on social media. I know you already use it, but the peer-to-peer recommendation for me is the highest form of recommendation and way to attract new members, because a member that you trust is inviting another member that you will trust. You can also participate in online meetings with other groups you believe could be interested in your initiatives. But each time you will need to explain, why are you launching this initiative? What is the impact you want to achieve? Who are you targeting? So it's great you have that in mind. And the key question to ask to yourself is who are the members that could be interested in your initiative? Where are they? Because you will need to find them and to invite them to join your community. And also you will need to think about who are the people we want to have and contact them directly. So the key recommendations is really to define your why, to gather a group of volunteers, select a platform or some platforms depending on the strategy you want to have, just social media plus a platform, or a platform. I really encourage you to launch your minimum viable product as soon as possible, because you don't need to think about something for 2 years and then you launch it and actually maybe it's not a good thing. It's better to launch like a beta version that you will continuously improve through the learning and feedback you will get. Then you need to engage your community and then promote your community. In terms of resources, I encourage you to have a look. So if you want to know more about learning through play, you can go on the LEGO Foundation website, where there's a lot of amazing material, and typically there's a knowledge base where you will find a lot of white papers on learning through play in different contexts. I'm sure it can be a great inspiration source for you. There's the Play Future community website, playfuture.net. Where you will be able to find the webinars and Play Future expressions that have been done for Play Future. And then there's 2 books also I recommend you. The one of Mitch Resnick, Lifelong Kindergarten, where, as I told you, is recommending to use the 4 Ps: projects, passion, peers, and play. And also wrote a chapter in the book, it's a French book called Les Communautés d'Innovation, where here in this book, it's only case studies about how an innovation committee looks like and how it can look like in an internal context, in an external context. So you will find a bunch of great examples to get inspiration on what you would like to launch. So thank you very much for your attention. I wish you best of luck for your committee. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me and drop me an email, and I will be very happy to answer. So best of luck and enjoy your conference. Bye-bye.